Good Thursday morning, everybody. Cecil Pearson Jr. coming at you here live on YouTube. I am blessed on this cold morning this morning. Friday night into Saturday morning, supposed to be down into the 20s here. But you know what they say, it don't do any good to complain about the weather because the Lord's in charge of it. And well, we're going to get what he wants us to have, and we ain't going to get nothing else. And I am just blessed to be here this morning with you. I hope that each and everybody that is here is as blessed as I am. Hello, Sister Vanessa. Good to see you. You see that weather report about the 20s coming on Saturday night? Got us a hard freeze warning. Morning, Brother Shane. Good to see you. Davis, good to see you. Appreciate the prayers. Thank you very much. Hello, Chrissy. Good to see you this morning from up there in the great state of Michigan. Y'all ain't just fighting cold. Y'all fighting an ignorant governor. But there's Sister Glenda. Good to see you this morning. Hope, like I say, I hope everybody is blessed. You know, I think I'm going to start this morning off with a little joke, a little Christian joke. The preacher was having a baptism. He was down in the water and he was dunking folks as fast as he could. This old drunk stumbled into the water and stumbled up to the preacher. And the preacher grabbed the drunk and turned him around, and he says, brother, are you ready to find Jesus? And the old drunk said, yep. He dunked him down in the water. Picked him back up. He says, well, did you find Jesus? And the drunk man said, no. So the preacher, not knowing what to do, he dunked him back down into the water again. Held him a little bit longer, and he picked him up. He said, brother, did you find Jesus? And the drunk man said, no, sir. So he dunked him down again, and he held him there about 30 seconds till the old drunk started kicking his legs and flapping his arms about, trying to get some air. And he lifted him back up, and he said, now, did you find Jesus? And the drunk man spitting and sputtered and got the water out of his mouth. He says, Pastor, are you sure this is where he fell in at? Well, that's a joke. Good morning, Brother Randy, Sister Janet. Good to see y'all. Patrick, New, Mr. John. The message we got this morning is, the title of it is, Here Comes the Sun Again. Noob, you can look there in the description of the video and you'll find an email, and I answer questions through emails. I don't answer questions on live videos. We're going to turn over to the book of Luke this morning, chapter 12, verses 2 and 3. Luke chapter 12, verses 2 and 3. Hello, William. Good to see you. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness, shall it be heard in the light. And whatsoever ye have spoken in the ear, in the closet shall be proclaimed upon the housetop. Wow. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetop. Now, I'm not certain if y'all understand what that means, but it sure does fit in today's time, just like it did in the time that Jesus was walking and teaching it. If you got a secret that you think is secret, you always got to remember Jesus knows it. You know, there's a movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, right? Well, Jesus knows what you've done since you've been born. Oh. When you very quietly decide that you're going to gossip right there in the house of God, in the church pew, thinking ain't nobody going to hear you, remember, Jesus hears you. You know, I get a lot of questions about different things. And one of the things that I always get a question about, and I'm just going to touch on it for just a minute, is masturbation. What does the Bible say about masturbation? Well, it doesn't say anything about it. It's not in there. Nowhere in here is it in there. But here's what I say. Here's my answer. Would you do that? Would you be doing that if Jesus was standing there watching you? If your answer is no, remember, he's always standing there watching you. And that's all we're going to say about that. Now, I got to look at this right here because it's from the fellow that we prayed for yesterday. Let me reply to him here right quick. I prayed for you on live yesterday. Oh, let's see what we got here. Oh, mercy. Brother Shane, he's come over here to mine. Glory, hallelujah. The amazing thing about all of this is it doesn't just apply to you as an individual. It applies to pastors. It applies to mega preachers. It applies to uber mega preachers. It applies to your local, state, and federal government. Have you noticed how all the evil in the United States somehow, even at the federal government level, somehow finds its way out of the darkness and the shadows of secret into the light of the news media and print media and social media. It amazes me, though, that how the media, they never want to print secrets unless it's secrets that goes against President Trump. If it's secrets that goes against people like Joe Biden, they don't want to print that. They don't want to talk about that on camera. They don't want to get the information out there. Like this mess about him being accused of inappropriate sexual misconduct. They don't want you to know about that, because then you might not vote for him. They don't want you to know about the woman that he molested and attempted to rape. They don't want you to know about that. They want to keep that secret, yet here it comes out in the open. Felicia, I sure will, honey, and thank you very much. I appreciate that. They don't want all of this stuff out in the open. And the reason they don't want it out in the open is because it doesn't serve their agenda. It doesn't serve the Luciferian agenda that they push, like killing babies, taken away from the storehouse, raping children, drinking the blood of children. It doesn't fit their agenda. But every single thing that any Republican has ever said or done, be it years ago or just last week, is going to be front page news. It's how they steer you and drive you and turn you. Now, a lot of people, Divine, we prayed for your daughter on Brother Aaron's live yesterday, and we're going to get to her today here too, along with Felicia's mama. But a lot of people don't understand what's happening in the backgrounds in these state Capitol buildings. You got people like our governor, Andy Beshear. He wants to be called Andy. I got news for you. Andy Griffith, he ain't. But that's what he wants to be compared to, is Andy Griffith. Well, he ain't. In the back rooms up there, and I've got friends up there. I've got friends in the Capitol building this morning. They had a conversation. If we don't do something to allow some of the Christians to get back to the church, they're going to come in here and throw me out. We can't have that. I really don't want them getting together in the church house, because every single one of them voted for me. I don't care about them. But if I don't do something, they're going to come in here and drag me out. This is a conversation that has taken place in the Capitol building. Yet, here we are. That ain't made it to the media. It won't make it to the media, not here, because all the big news agencies are in Democratic-controlled areas of the state. They are allowing National Guard to come in and run the polls during our election. These National Guard members are under the direct command of Governor Andy Beshear. Did you hear what I said? These people that are going to be officiating our election and in charge of the security of our elections are under the direct control and command of the Democratic governor. This Christian didn't either. But see, that's something that's being done in darkness, but God is bringing it to light. Even in the dark recesses of the state capitol buildings, the White House, the National Capitol building, the United States Senate, the United States House of Representatives, nothing they do in darkness can be hidden from God, and God can bring it to light. Do you hear what I said now? It don't matter what they've done in secret, God is bringing it to light. In them locked hearings up there that Adam Schiff had, the secret hearings where nobody was allowed to say anything outside the building, honey, they were all over the news yesterday with documents that had flowed out of there, and they still don't know how they got out. You can't hide from God. And honey, if Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi can't hide from God, you can't hide from God. You can't hide the secrets you got from God. You can't hide anything from God. I don't care how many layers of protection, how deep down in the ground that you go, God's geothermal scope will see what you doing. God's audio scope will hear what you saying. He will telepathically know what you're thinking. You can't hide from God. So I don't know why you even try. You know, I see a lot of it in Christianity. Oh, hey, brother, how are you doing? Oh, it's been so long since I've seen you. Let me give you a hug. Hug. It's good to see you too. Man, how's the kids and them? They doing good. Turn around, walk off, and before he's even out of earshot, he leans over to his wife and says, I swear I hate that man. I wish he'd die. You just hugged his neck and told him how much you missed him, turn around, walk off, and talk about how you hate him and you wish he'd die. Don't you know God wrote that down in that book of sins he's got up there with your name on it? I make no bones about it. If there's somebody I don't like them to their face, just like I don't like them behind their back. I can't stand Nancy Pelosi. I wish she'd catch the drawing disease, pull her nose right down to her tail hole. She'd catch a dribbling runs and live for 1,000,000 years. That's how I feel about Nancy Pelosi. I make no bones about it. I don't hide it. When y'all figure out what I said, y'all will start laughing. But it'll be a minute, because that's a sure enough country saying. Divine got it. Vanessa got it. But I'm sorry. If she walked up to me and said, "Do you like me?" I'd look her straight in the face and go, "Nope, not one little bit. But I pray for you every day that God will just take you home." Yeah. The President of the United States came to Georgia during the Olympics. Me and my sister were his medics. We stayed in the ambulance with the motorcade. He had a little blood pressure problem, had to take his blood pressure. And he asked me, "You don't care for me, do you? This is the President of the United States." And I looked him straight in the eyes and said, "No, not really." I thought his wife, Miss Barbara, was going to die laughing. And she said, "Well, George, you ain't used to that. You ain't used to somebody telling you the truth." It was hilarious. But the man himself was a decent guy. He was a fairly decent fella. I just didn't care for what he was trying to do. I didn't. And I didn't lie to the man to his face and tell him, "Oh, yeah, I like you just fine." No, really, I don't. But that ain't going to keep me from doing my job. Oh, 1,000 times better, Mr. Gary, 1,000 times. But politics is not the subject here. It's just showing you that from the highest office in this land to the homeless on the street, nothing is done that God can't see, that God didn't see, that God didn't hear. He heard it all. He saw it all. He knows it all. So that little I'm sorry, I'm gonna do it. The little experimentation you did in the back seat when you were 16 with the girl next door, God saw that. When your neighbor was out working on his job and you had a day off and his wife needed some help moving a washing machine, yeah, he saw what happened over there too. When your neighbor's wife run off to go to that 2-day spa trip down in Cancun, and your husband was at work, yeah, he saw what happened back there in the swimming pool. He saw that. I'm reading somebody's mail this morning. I don't know who it is, but I'm reading somebody's mail this morning. He saw that. He wrote it down in his little book. It might be a secret to you, but it wasn't a secret to God? He wrote it down. Oh, yes, he did. Young'un, when you took that cookie that your mama or your grandmama told you you couldn't have, and you snuck in the closet or in the cabinet and ate that cookie, God saw that. When you went upstairs and slammed your door and cussed your mama out, screaming into your pillow, God saw that. God heard that. When you broke any rule at the schoolhouse, God seen it, wrote it down. So from the smallest of children to the eldest on the planet, if God seen your secrets and wrote them down, you need to pray and ask for forgiveness of them secrets. Tyler, I said, don't know why you couldn't just type the prayer request in right here where I didn't have to go to another website in the middle of preaching, but I'll come over here and look at it. No, sir, Tyler. No, sir. I won't pray for your three friends. They're evil, they're vile, and they're nasty. But I will pray for you to keep up your good, strong block against them. You know what? Why don't we just go ahead and do this right now? Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning on behalf of Felicia Flowers' mama. She's in the emergency room, Lord, and she's got some intestine problems, and they're testing her for the COVID. God, just touch her stomach and ease it right now. Give her comfort in her guts. God, just move in a mighty way on her. Let this COVID-19 thing come back negative. I don't know why they'd be testing her for COVID for the intestines, but apparently now that'll just get everything. If you go to the hospital, they're going to stick something in your nose. So God, just move in a mighty way and touch her. Touch her, Lord. Be with her, Father. For Tyler, God, lift him up, strengthen him, God. Move in a mighty way in his life. Let him see that those people, those so-called friends of his, aren't friends when they start spreading lies, rumors, and gossip that could destroy him. Let him see that they're not friends and they don't deserve his pity. They deserve your wrath, God, for what they've done to him. And I ask, God, that you would just have your way with them, those friends. If it be to draw them closer to you, God, if that be your will, do that. If it be to strike them down, God, do that. But have your way, your will with them, God, not our will. And strengthen Tyler, God, that they won't be able to come against him anymore. And if they do, it won't matter. Give him the resolve, God, to stay in your loving presence. God, for Cody, not Cody, the Woodward boy Chris, that's having the hip replaced. Be with him, Father God. Touch him. He's asking for prayer again. Touch him. Be with him, God. Bless him, Lord. Take away the fear that is there. Just move in a mighty way, God, on his behalf, and ease his suffering and